Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Through Black and White Eyes after a disappointing result, to say the least. I've got Andrew in the background who's going to come on and give us his thoughts. I've decided I'm going to let you guys rant as much as you want because I think it's a night just to get things off your chest and let's just move on to the next game because we've got a bigger game on Tuesday night, quarterfinal of the Cup to prepare for. And I think this is why we unfortunately got beat today. But the news that we broke yesterday on the look ahead was that Maxi was not in the squad. He didn't travel. It turns out he's potentially got COVID. If you believe what Eddie Howe says, the master of the press, and doesn't let anything get out, then you can believe he's got COVID. The stuff that I've been told from the 5 people who told me he's not even in the squad is a very, very different conversation. And also the hair loss. Text messages I've seen in the group thing saying that he's disappointed that he didn't get game time to try and get into the World Cup squad. And the club have apparently received offers from 2 clubs and are potentially looking to sell him, and he feels betrayed. So it's up to you guys what you want to believe. I know what Eddie Howe's like with the media. We've seen what he's like. He says one thing. Apparently, we didn't have any money to spend, and then Isak was signed for 60, 70 million. So don't tell me that Eddie Howe tells the press everything because he doesn't. But there are people you can find information from sometimes. But anyway, that's a different story. It's just nice that we got something right. But yeah, you believe what you want to believe. I believe what I've seen. And I'll show you a bit more of it tomorrow night. But let's bring Andrew in for tonight. Good evening, Andrew.
Good evening.
Shocking, wasn't it?
The result, yeah, the performance is okay. Overall, again, we have problems breaking people down. We've seen this before.
But we didn't have a problem breaking them down. We had a problem putting the ball in the net.
Finishing, yeah, yeah.
We'll start off talking about. We'll go in the chat first, then we'll start talking about the first half. So Rat says, I know emotions were high. Sorry, Baz. It's fine, mate. It was one of those games. But I'm thinking clearly now, and after tonight, clear out is needed and 3 players minimum. Wing is needed. Miggy looked lost when he came on, but I can accept that. I thought Miggy did all right when he came on. He was pushing and pushing. The game we were chasing, it was difficult. The problem is what we've got, what a lot of people have got to remember. Last year, we were relegation candidates. This year, after a few signings, because we got Botman, Bruno, Trippier, Pope, Isak, we've managed to get 3rd where we are now. And we're in a quarter-final of a cup. Someone said that to me a year ago. You would have snapped their hands off it. Even if he said you go out in the 3rd round of the FA Cup, but you're in the quarter-final of the League Cup and you're 3rd in the Premier League, would you take it? You would snap your hands off for them. And the problem we've got now is that we're overachieving. Everyone's getting all these ideas in the head that we should be buying 5, 6, 7, 8 players and then flushing out the squad as quickly as possible, even though the squad's worked so hard to get us in the position that we're in. Yes, I agree. The players won't be good enough where we're going to, but you can't just have a big flush out there, Andrew. You can't just flush all those players down the toilet and expect to sign 5, 6, 7, and then for this amazing run to continue.
Yeah, no, not in the winter time. I mean, prices are high. The team's been together since August. There are certain players that probably do need to leave in the winter. I think we've probably discussed those ad nauseum. I think Howe has given some of them a chance. I think some of them maybe tonight was their last chance. And honestly, Richie, he impressed me. Right. I if he doesn't get sold, I'm fine. You know, some other players like Lewis. I mean, we've that's probably why we're linked to fullbacks. But yeah, you can't just up and get rid of everyone, you know. But we all know there needs to be strengthening, and we all expect that to happen.
Yeah, FFP obviously has a big role in it. We've got to be careful that we don't just blow it all in one window, which we could do. We could just go right 7 out, 7 in, but then when everyone comes to the summer and says, right, we need to sign 2 more players, but we can't because we've just used all our FFP. So we don't have the margins to be able to do that sort of thing. So we've got to remember when these guys first came in, they said it's a 7 to 10 year project to be challenging for the league. we're third already. It's mental. Just enjoy the ride at the moment and let things improve how they want to improve them, which I think it'll be 2 to 1 big signing every window, and then potentially a few players out as well. But it will be a slow progress to get rid of everyone. It won't be straight away. Woods, our new striker, you fast and hungry striker, brings up on under the 21s. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's playing well or not, but we've got to remember again, the under 21 standard is nowhere near what it should be with the leagues they're playing in. This is the other thing that we need to improve on. We need to start getting promotions in those leagues to get into the proper league, and then be able to bed your players in the under 21s and then bring them into the starting 11. You've got to have a very good player in the wings for that to happen. And I don't think Eddie Howe sees him as that kind of player, does he, at the moment?
No, definitely not. He's unproven. I mean, as much as Chris Wood's miss tonight was shocking, I still don't think I wouldn't think anyone from the under 23s would be an improvement on the squad, or under 21s.
Yeah. I mean, he might hit the ground running. We just don't know, but we've not seen enough of him. We can't go off his stats in the league that they're playing in, is what I'm basically trying to say. Go get Madison, get Diaby, Falsenineltd, and see these 4 players you're asking us to go and get there, and that's going to cost a lot of money. I'll do the fans a favour, sign Coney from Gladbach. The summer budget doesn't matter if we flop and drop down the league. Summer budget does matter, because I can't see us dropping any lower than 6. And if someone said you'd be top 6 at the start of the season, we would have snapped their hands off it. Remember, we're overachieving. And we can't carry this on. If we finish top 4 this season, it's a miracle and it's an unbelievable season. But we're not buying in this window to stay in the top 4. We're buying to potentially stay in the top 6 now, I think. But we could make top 4. I'm not saying no. We can dream. Eddie Howe says he wants us to dream, but we also have to have that little realistic voice in the back of your head, don't you, saying we're overachieving. We're relegation fodder last season. The squad hasn't changed too much. Just be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, I mean, the league's been shocking as well this year. Like, traditional teams have been horrible, and we've been probably overperforming. So eventually those are going to kind of come together. So, yeah, any European football, we're ahead of schedule. I would have taken, I mean, I said, I think on your show, I'd take a 7th at the beginning of the year just to get in. I mean, so... yeah, just to stay up is good enough in one of those places, which I fully anticipate us not to drop out of the at least top 7, if not 6. Kind of depends on some of those other teams.
Yeah. Start of the season, I said between 10th and 7th. I'd be well happy in a decent run in the cup. We've got the decent run in the cup. We're in the quarterfinal. We could easily be in the semi-final, because Leicester are not exactly a great team, and we'll have everyone back on Tuesday night under the lights, home crowd. You know, Chris Wood on the bench to come on and score a penalty. I'm sure. I am not defending Chris Wood anymore, guys. I can't defend that miss, which we'll talk about later. But I would snap your hands off for where we are right now. I really would. How the hell Murphy and Wood get picked after tonight, I don't know. Completely out of their depth. Because they do everything right in training. They're team players. They're squad players. So when we got to call upon them, we will have to call upon them. It's as simple as that. I don't like it, like any of you guys do. I want us to have better players on the bench, but I have to be realistic with what we've got, and this is what we have. I think Richie might have moved himself up the pecking order a little bit, though, for substitute appearances in the future. For me, Baz, it's first-hand proof that a squad depth is not good enough to take part in all competitions. Need a clear out and better players brought in. Never want to see Wood in the shirt again. I mean, right. I can't defend him. I can't. Wood, Lascelles, Dubravka and Richie shouldn't play for the first team again. I felt sorry. I mean, Dubravka, could he have done anything for the first goal? I think it was very close range. The guy was offside for a start.
Yeah.
The second goal, he's not saving that. Even Popey's not saving that.
Nope. I thought he was okay. I mean,
solid, wasn't he? Other than that,
for not playing in how long? I mean,
yeah, he's been sitting on Man United's bench. That's the worst thing about it. That's why everyone picks on Dubravka now, is because of what he did. But when you think about his performance tonight, caught everything, claimed everything. Yes, he conceded 2 goals, but he couldn't have done anything about those goals in my eyes. One was offside; it was close range. Popey's not saving that, and Popey's not saving the second goal either. I mean, the player might have got put off by Popey's size potentially when he's gone running through on goal, but the way he slotted it home, no keeper saving that. I don't care how good you are.
And he had one really good, excellent save, diving, I think, to his right, punched out.
Yeah, that took a deflection.
Yeah.
There was the one from the free kick that he got a little hand onto the crossbar. Can you remember that one in the second half?
Yes. It went off. It might have grazed Botman, and then they showed the replay in the United States a few times. It's hard to tell if he actually got a touch on it or not, but I mean, he played it as he should. So, I mean, I didn't have a problem with his performance. I would have played Karius just because he's been with the team. But I mean, it was nice to. I mean, he came back, didn't look like he really lost anything, which is, good in the sense that if we have to sell him for, or he wants to move on, he didn't hurt his value at all. I don't think at all.
Well, apparently, I've been corrected a few times on this one because I was sure because it was a loan, he would be able to be sold in this January window. But he can be sold, but he can't play for another club for 6 months because apparently it's classed as the free club rule, which I don't understand because he was with us. We didn't buy him in the summer. He was our player. We then loaned him out to Man United, so he's not really been bought, has he?
No.
But apparently that's the rules. You can't play for free clubs. So, and because he made the appearance tonight, he's going nowhere. Unless there is a legality that we can get around, but I don't think there is. Absolute dog shit. Lewis, Wood, useless. Get rid of the lot. ASM needs to go if the rumours are true. So just to let I'll update everyone on ASM again. Eddie Howe says it's an illness. Eddie Howe's very good with the media, though, and he always plays things down. And he's not exactly going to sit there in front of the media and say, yeah, ASM told me he wanted to play. I told him he wouldn't play, and he's refused to go on the team bus. Eddie Howe wouldn't throw a player under the bus. Pardon the pun. I've had information from 5-6 people who all told me he wasn't in the squad. They got that right. And then they've also told me other bits that have happened. The messages in the Halos group, which I've now seen, and also the fact that apparently the club have received 2 inquiries and were actually considering to sell him. He found that out and he feels like the club's betraying him. They're trying to get rid of him behind his back, blah, 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 blah. He's basically been a pre-Obama. You believe what you want to believe. You want to believe what Eddie Howe said, and he said that he's ill and he's going to feature, then fair enough. And if that happens, brilliant. But I've heard something different. Eddie Howe said we had no money, then we signed Isaac a few days later. That's how good Eddie Howe is with the media. He plays everything down. So I still believe there's something bubbling in the background on that one. What's your take on it, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, it's convenient to say a player's sick or injured, or I mean, you obviously, I mean, I believe Howe tells the truth most of the time, although he's not going to come out and say, yeah, we had a bust up. I mean, especially if they're looking to sell this guy, he has a reputation coming in from Nice, like he's not going to put that out there. Like, you don't want to put off anyone that may want him. So you want to, pretend like everything's okay. And then I think ASM also put out a tweet where, he references he was sick. So he's obviously not dumb either. Like we're not gonna know the truth until well after the fact.
Oh, Peter, that's brilliant. I love it when you're in the chat. You know what, lads? If Chris would pull the trigger at 2-pack, Tupac would have been 58 today. Brilliant. I thought Lewis looked sluggish and positionally poor. I thought he cost us for the first goal. I thought he tucked in too much, leaving that big space on the right-hand side. But he was let down by his midfield as well because he was covering 2 players potentially. He saw the danger, but the danger was the wrong man he was watching. One of those things. I mean, he had one good run overlap when he got into the box and tried to cross it in the first half, but it was a poor cross in the end. I mean, is Eddie Howe putting these players in the shop window is the question. And personally, I think we still had enough to beat that team tonight. We had the chances, we just didn't put them away.
Oh, totally. I mean, again, it's kind of like Leeds. We have, I mean, I don't know what the statistics are offhand, but we outshot them probably at least two
Oh,
or three
20,
times.
25 attempts, 9 on target, I think.
Yeah. So, I mean, so it's just, I mean, and give Murphy credit. He had a shot on target.
It was a good effort, to be fair.
It was saved. I'm not the biggest Murphy fan. I mean, he does a lot of the grunt work, so Hal's going to stick with him, but he did put a good shot in. So, I mean, there were chances. Anderson had a chance. I mean, obviously Wood, Richie. I mean, you can go down the
Isaac had
team.
2. Yeah, the header. Isaac had the shot that the keeper didn't see. It just hit him. The one that really peeved me off more, it's same as Woods, because Wood obviously should have scored. But Murphy, when he went 1-on-1 with the keeper in the first half, he flicked it over him.
Yeah.
Take it round him. The keeper had committed himself. Take it round him. He had a better chance of scoring.
I don't know what his obsession is with like dinking over the keeper. And then he had another time where he could have taken the guy 1-on-1.
And the 1-on-1 in the first half again. And then he didn't realise there was a player coming behind him and he got the ball taken off him. It's the lack of awareness with him, isn't it? I've said this so many times with Murphy. It's the lack of intelligence of a footballer. He's got pace. He should be able to finish because I've seen him do it. He just has this mental block when he gets inside the box. He can't score. But it's that mental awareness around him of other players that really frustrates me the most of, because that player just came in and nicked him like he wasn't, I'll take that off you. Thanks very much.
Yeah, he had the pace. He had the pace to take that guy 1-on-1. He slowed down.
Yeah. And I agree on this comment. And I said this before the start of the game, about 2 hours before kickoff. I said we'll put out a strong team, and we didn't. And I said the only change I'd make in the back five, which is including Pope, is I'd have picked the Sells over Shaw, because Shaw keeps on getting head injuries left, right, and centre. I just wanted to give him a rest. But I wouldn't have dropped Burn, Trips, Botman, or Pope. I would have just took the one out, keep it as solid as possible. And then that gives you the platform to bring in those other players like Murphy, like Richie, like Anderson, like Isaac back in from the cold, and giving them a chance with a solid base behind them. I think, and it's completely up to Eddie Howe how he sees it. He made 8 changes, and it was 8 changes too much. And there was too many changes in the back line. 2 at the most, maybe Debraka for Pope as well. But 2 changes at the most, not 4 out of 5.
Yep. No, I agree. And I mean, Lascelles playing's fine, but then you're changing both fullback. I mean, it's tough. We just don't have the depth. I mean, we have. I mean, that's the issue. I probably would have played Byrne instead of Lewis. To be honest, that's why I mentioned earlier it might have been the last. I think he's trying to give chances. So
I think Byrne ran himself in the ground, though, didn't he, against Arsenal? That's probably in his thinking, and then there's Tuesday night to think about. So I think that's the reason why. But it sucks, because I would rather have that solid back line all the time, as much as possible. Maybe change out 2. He could have brung Shaw at half time for Botman and then had Shaw in the Cells. He could have started Javi for 45 minutes and brung Trippier on for 45 minutes potentially. We might not have been losing that game. That's the way I see it. It's just frustrating. It is. But those changes, too many. So I agree with Geordie's. Can I be honest? I'm sick of FFP. No other club is observing it. So why are we? They are, though, mate. Leicester are, Everton are. You've got to forget about Chelsea. Remember, Chelsea had all slates clean. So they are literally at 0, and they can just go and blast about 500 million, and then they'll probably get close to their FFP.
But even Chelsea, you could tell something's going on, because to give Batashile a 7.5-year contract for 35, whatever
million,
it was.
I think it is, yeah.
Yeah, so to amortize that small of a deal over that long a period of time, I mean, I think it's starting to catch up.
3.5 million.
Yeah. That seems like a small deal to go that long.
Well, he's only 22, so they're probably tying him down for a long time as well. That's what I would like to have seen done with Botman.
They've been burned. Contract. They've been burned by that method many times in the past.
This is true. FFP is just one of those things we're just going to have to suck it up and keep hearing about it, to be honest with you. Chris Wood, more like Chris Wood's here for a pay package because he lacks effort. No, I don't believe in that. He gives effort. He works for the shirt. He's just shit. Right, I've said it, right? But he works his arse off. And every time he wears the shirt, I'll always support him. But when you miss a chance like that, I can't support him after the game. Not tonight. Good game. We lost. It's not the end of the world. Let's crack on. And with the Prem top 4. Well said, Mark. Remember, guys, this is the second loss of the season. It's not a loss in the Premier League either. We've only lost one game there. We've lost this cup game. It is important because I love the FA Cup, and I'm not going to disrespect the competition and say, look, it's a nothing competition because we're still in the League Cup. It's quarter-final. Everyone would have said that's the nothing competition and would rather be in the FA Cup quarter-final, which would swap in a heartbeat. But we just got to take it on the chin, guys. We've got to be, the underdog won. It happens. Look at Forest. They got absolutely humped off Blackpool. There are worse teams out there and there are other upsets. That is football. That is the FA Cup. It's why we love the competition so much. Disagree with Joshua that we should say, oh God, yeah, the idiot in the chat on the live watch along. Don't be angry, Kevin. Just let it all out. This is the one night you're all going to get a chance to let rip. We need to build a bridge and get over this bad result onwards and upwards. Exactly. Tuesday night. Let's think about that. On Howe made a bad call. He knows it. We know it. No, Leicester is a huge game. Leicester is a huge game. And Eddie Howe knows that. That's why he made the decision today to risk getting knocked out of the cup. And unfortunately, it's just like Cambridge last year. We got knocked out of the cup in the 3rd round. It'll hurt him. And I know it will. It will hurt Eddie Howe because he doesn't like losing. But he's got to be pragmatic with the squad that we've got. Eddie, unfortunately, no, I'm not having any of that. I'm sorry, Vincent, not a chance, mate. You can have a whinge about how the players performed, but Eddie Howe sent them out tactically correct. We had all of the ball, 73% of possession or something like that. We had all of the efforts. They just didn't execute their jobs. Isak should have scored the header. Very unlucky with his shot that the keeper saved. Murphy should have scored his one-on-one. Wood should have scored his one-on-one. There was loads of ricochets in the box that could have fell to feet and gone in. I'm sorry. Eddie Howe's not at fault for how the finishing was. Yes, he's at fault for making 8 changes, but not tactically. Not a chance.
And then they had the offside goal. We had the offside goal. They canceled each other out. And then the second goal they had was a mistake from midfield, Bruno and Joe Linton. I mean, we kind of got punished for one of our few mistakes.
And we got punished for both of them because the first goal as well, there was 2 Newcastle players went to one Sheffield Wednesday player and he somehow got in between them.
Yeah, they took a risk trying to get a 5-on-2, but I'm counting that as offside, so I'm like, in my head, I moved on that one.
A lot of people saying our goal isn't offside because it came off the keeper and then Bruno finished it. I personally think he's standing in an offside position and he's interfering with players, so it's offside, but a lot of people disagree with that. We need to get rid of 5 players. I agree, yes, we need to get rid of 5 players, but not Longstaff. I'm not having Longstaff as one of those players. 4 in that list. But you need the replacements coming in, and we don't have the funds to go out and buy 4 top quality players. It's as simple as that. Well, we do have the funds, we just can't because of FFP. I'm confused. We're not bought in any attacking players, but Isak, it's always been a problem. How does Murphy and Fraser stay in the squad? Well, Fraser's out the squad now. He wasn't even in tonight. We need strongest team in the Carabao Cup, which is what is going to happen. Got any news? Way! You do realise that ASM didn't make it to the squad today and that Eddie Howe's covering it up. But hey, Sam, you believe what you want to believe. Don't have the squad depth to challenge for 3 competitions. Yeah, you're probably right, we don't. Baz Dan Ashworth is still in talks of Leicester, so ongoing deal. There you go. Our goal was even more offside. There you are. Liverpool are winning 2-1. That would have been nice if they got beat tonight. Who scored the opener? If you know Leslie, the Gapo score. So one of our followers can win some money. I know we have top-class squad eventually, but we don't have a squad to compete in the Premier League, Champions League, Carabao Cup and FA Cup, etc. We don't right now, but you just never know. 8 changes to the team was inexcusable to me. Sorry, but that's my opinion. But you've got to think of that performance against Arsenal, how much it took out of them. and then we've got the game on Tuesday night now after today. It's got to be careful, because if he went out and picked a full strength team today and then 3 of them broke down for injury because they were carrying something from the Arsenal game, you all then would have started complaining, shouldn't have played them, should have made more changes. You know what I mean? It's like you die, you live by the sword, you die by the sword situation, isn't it?
And if some of those guys didn't get in tonight, when are they playing? I mean, they practice just as hard, I assume, as everyone else. And Hal says there's a lot of players behind the scene that put in effort that we don't even know about. So, at some point they have to get rewarded, I don't agree with Anderson not going out on loan. We'll see how it ends in January, but I think he needs to play regularly. But that's me.
I think Anderson needs to go out on loan. I honestly don't think Pope is saving that. I'm sorry. I don't think he's saving either of them. Maybe the first one potentially might have a chance, but it was close range and it might have been past them before. I don't know. It's a hearsay answer, isn't it? Squad depth is nowhere near big enough, Baz. Not the managers or owners' fault. Years of Ashley abuse. Pope maybe doesn't save what you're saying, but they organise his defence better, so maybe the chance doesn't happen. I agree with that. If we didn't have Lewis and we had Byrne and we had Trippier in instead, I still think Lascelles played all right, but it's probably a mistake for the second goal maybe. But I don't know. Striker got in between both Lascelles and Botman, so who would you blame? Murphy plays without intentional belief. It's the same with Wood. Their confidence must be shot to bits, but it needs clearing out. Again, if the lower confidence, whose fault's that? Is that our fault for getting on their backs all the time? Potentially, I don't know. Baz, do you think Howe put some of these players in the shop window? I think he did, yeah. Is this a blip? Yes, it's just a blip. We've only lost twice all season. It's definitely just a blip. Yes, I agree with that. Hello, Newcastle. Should let St. Maximum leave Newcastle and let him sign for Man United for Harry Maguire? You can sign St. Maximum, but we're not taking Harry Maguire off you. You can have Maxi for 50 million and then we can reinvest it in Diaby or someone like that. Hey, Jeff. Hope you're well, pal. Sales needs to go as well. That's 6 players. Yeah, but we're not going to ship 6 out. It's not happening. Definitely for Maxi going, if you can get a decent dosh for him, then great. I still think the summer for Maxi, as long as it is just an illness and the information's not right. Let's see. ASM tweet doesn't look like he's had a falling out. It's a cover-up, guys. Craig, it's a cover-up. Is ASM looking to get a move away? We don't know. It's interesting. One of his hair loss messages says, as long as my demands are met, which I hate that word. He wants game time. And if anyhow's not picking him, apparently they're arguing all the time. You don't see this, you'll never hear it unless, I don't know how you're going to hear it other than here, or maybe from someone else who's got someone who knows something about something. But apparently Eddie Howe and ASM don't like each other. They're always at each other, arguing. Howe's trying to get his point across and trying to get the best out of him for the team. ASM wants game time, wants to play 90 minutes. He still sees himself as the main man when he's not, because Bruno is now, Botman is. All these players are getting attention, and ASM's not getting the attention anymore. So I don't know. Mancini and Balotelli had a bust-up, of which everyone knows. Man City still kept winning. That is true, but Balotelli was still on the pitch as well, though, and he wasn't injured, where Maxi's always injured. Disappointing result, however, with many players on the pitch who have been Rafa or Bruce. I agree. I said yesterday it was going to be 2-1 Chef Wed, and I was worried. You did. Did you put a bet on? Could have won some money, fella. I think we should pay someone 20-25 million to take ASM, no more than that. I think we'll get more than that for him, but sell ASM, get the RVEs that can play across the front three, so ASM wouldn't be a miss. He's hardly been available all season. We're third, so he hasn't been a miss now. Do you agree with that, Andrew?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I would have sold him in the summer, but I don't think he's a Howe player. I think Howe inherited him. So I mean, Mara knows my take for a long time. We've been arguing this back and forth, so he'll probably pop in here.
Yeah, Andrew's right. I mean, this Andrew here, and you're right as well, don't get me wrong. And there were only 7 players tonight in the shirt who would never wear it again. But you've still got to look at what they're doing in training. You know, how would I had these guys training together as a team, because you knew he'd be playing this sort of team tonight. So they would have done a lot. So why is ASM saying different on Instagram post? So ASM's going to come out and say against his parent club, I won away. I didn't get on the team bus. I'm a wanker. Do you know what I mean? He does that. It shoots his reputation. No other club's going to touch him because he's showing that he's a diva. You've got to think about it, Sean. Think about that side of it. If ASM comes out and says, I'm not playing, I want to go, Eddie Howe won't pick me, no one's going to touch him. To keep his value up, they've got to say other stuff. They've got to come out and say these sort of things. If ASM was really that ill, why didn't Eddie Howe say it in his press conference before the game on the Friday? No one's got an answer to that, have they? But apparently he was ill on Friday. So if he was ill, why weren't we told on Friday? I found out on Friday he wasn't even on the team bus. So Eddie Howe would have known at that point when he was in that press conference that ASM was not going to that game. So why didn't he tell us then? So start thinking about it, guys. Start looking outside the box. It's a detective thing, isn't it? You've got to think about all the evidence that's been presented to you. Guys, hit the subscribe button and the like. Hit the thumbs up as well, if you don't mind, guys. Hey, Kevin, hope you're well. No doubt gutted. I'm trying to get through all the comments. At 74, I could have scored Wood's goal. I mean, even I could have scored that. But should you come to this comment, someone said 2 players may sign for 2 on Monday. Is this correct? Well, I was told by the person who told me that Maxi wasn't in the squad that we need to keep an eye on the 7th of this month, which is Monday. He said that something's going to happen. He got a wink from one of the guys who works at Newcastle. So that was what I was told. I'm not saying it's true. It's up to you guys to interpret it how you want to. That's not what we're here for. We're not here to say this is definitely going to happen. I was told something may happen on Monday. So just wait till Monday. Murphy couldn't score if his life depended on it. I agree with that. Isaac plays a full game, we win it simple. Yeah, it's a shame you only played 45. That was obviously the instructions from the fitness coaches and all this sort of stuff, Andrew, was to give him 45 minutes, ease him in and see how he comes out of that game.
Yeah, I was actually he looked like a player that was rusty, but you could see sparks of brilliance. I kind of was scared when he pulled up, looked like he pulled up limping at the end of the half, but then quickly came out that it was the plan all along that he was only going to play 45. So I just hope he's still good to go. And because, you could see, he had those 2 chances, but if he gets more minutes, I expect at least one of those, if not both, to go in. So it was great just to finally see him, back, and hopefully he's comes out fine.
Yeah, exactly. Why did we sign Murphy? Because we had Ashley in charge. That's the answer to everything when it comes to players from that era. He was shown a little bit again when he was playing for Norwich. They thought he had he was young. He was a Newcastle fan. He wanted to come. We had a shit owner, a shit manager in, I think, actually, no, did Rafa sign Murphy? I think he did, didn't he? Well, Rafa probably didn't want to, but he was shoestring budget. He thought he was a decent player. That's why, Mark. It's just one of those things, and we will eventually get rid of them. But until we do, we've got to support them as best as we can. But he was shocking tonight. Howe made a big mistake tonight, guys. He did making that many changes. I agree. It was amazing that Botman was trying to hold the line, and the Cells was all over the place. Another one who should never play for us again. Again, lacking that Trips organisation, isn't it? If Trips was playing alongside Lascelles and Botman, you might have found a better Lascelles because Trips would make sure that line is correct. Mm-hmm. You're forgetting when the leadership's not on the pitch as well. That can happen. We don't have enough quality to be in free competitions. Carry and Deadwood. I agree with that, Craig. Lewis had a nightmare and should have been off earlier. Murphy and Lewis together was diabolical. It was a horrible left-hand side of the pitch, to be fair. Can't rush Isaac back too soon. Definitely not. Shouldn't change a team on the up. But again, you've got to think about Tuesday night, Bill. I think that's the reason why. No, I'd swap the Sal's for Shaw. Yeah, we all would, but Shaw has been in the wars. He's probably carrying something. He probably needed the rest. You know, our scientific team in the background, our physios, everyone, they know what they're doing. They would have said Shaw's in a danger zone for the amount of minutes he's played, the amount of times he's been hit hard. And let's face it, he's always on the ground with a head injury. That it happens. As far as defenders go, Lewis is good as the one that represented. Everton aren't apparently sticking to FFP rules. They've stuck to FFP rules. You've got to remember they got away with it because they used COVID as an excuse for breaking FFP rules. If they hadn't had COVID, they were fucked. Why can't people remember this?
And now they have a nanny over their shoulder for all their signings. So
exactly.
No, I don't want that. So
exactly, they can't sign anyone with any class or quality or at a high amount. They really are struggling, and that's why they're second bottom of the league. We have loads of money to spend, but FFP stopping us. Just put that on the end. We should have played the better players from the start, got a lead, and it's easier said than done. No, Graham, I said that, and it doesn't always work out that way. According to Howe in the last press conference, Lewis has a future at the club. Again, just bigging up his player in front of the media. What's going on behind the scenes, though? He's probably looking for a new club. Too many have short memories. I get a disappointment, but you have to look at the position your club was in this time last year. You're a work in progress. Rome wasn't built in a day. Well said, Stephen. And Stephen would kill to be in our position. Dubravka gone, Lewis gone, Lascelles gone, Ancua gone, Murphy gone, Wood gone. But then who's coming in? And for how much? And when's it going to happen? You know, it's easy to say this, which is what we're doing. But you've got to think about who's going to come in. That's 5 players. You're all going to want 5 quality players. So that's probably what, 35 to 50 million a player? It's 250 million potentially. We don't have it. We can't spend it in this window. So you need to cut down your expectations again.
And then you potentially add ASM onto that. I mean...
Then you get a little bit more quality back potentially.
But you can only do so much in a winter in January. I mean,
yeah. Put the team out expecting. We weren't expecting to get beat. Baz was right during the Arsenal game. He rarely has lost faith in Wood. He's lost faith in ASM. He's lost faith in Wood. I've lost faith in everyone. Botman lost faith in a lot of people in the chat where I was doing the live watch along. Botman was livid about the goals. Of course he was. The whole team was. Everyone just keep letting rip. It's the best way to get it off your chest. It's not nice to lose, but I've listened to what everyone has said, and you know what? We are turning into what we said we wouldn't. Remember when we were last year? Fuck me. Exactly, Anthony. We don't demand a team that wins. We demand a team that tries. That team tried. It lost. Let's get over it. While that performance confirmed things, Eddie and the team, there are some players that simply aren't good enough. I am sure he knew, and we've had it confirmed. Of course he did. Another thing about Wood. Another thing about Wood. I don't know what that one means. We've got an idiot in the chat. Probably not a Newcastle fan, but we'll just pop him in a timeout. Is that you, Kevin? Kevin's calmed down a lot now. Wednesday's defense was awesome. You've got to give them a lot of credit. Yeah, exactly. They defended like the lives depended on it. And they got a bit of luck with it as well. How has to take the blame for this defeat? As a manager, you'll always take blame for the defeat. But you've got to look at the players and the chances we missed. Isak's header, Isak's shot. That was they hit the goalkeeper, to be fair. Wood's miss. Anderson's poor effort. Richie's poor effort. You know, Murphy had a decent effort which swerved and the keeper saved it with one hand. You know, we were just a little bit unlucky. And their first goal was offside. So there you go. We're lacking bodies now in free competitions. Exactly. Well, it does feel we sacrificed the FA Cup to have a real crack at the League Cup, to be honest with you. That's what it feels like tonight. And let's just hope we get through on Tuesday night and then all of it will be forgotten. This is what we always do. We implode after a defeat. We're back up on a high after a win. We need to start finding some middle ground, guys. But as we keep going through this, Longstaff is not a good player. Well, we keep going on about it, mate. You keep bringing it up. I keep knocking you back. You keep bringing it up. I keep knocking it back. So why don't we just not talk about it, because Longstaff's going to be here for a while and he'll be a good squad player. And when you're in Europe, you need homegrown players to be represented in the squad. Otherwise, you run the risk of breaking the rules. There you go. Have to disagree, Baz. You fielded the wrong team. If you're serious about the cup, put a full strength. No, I see full strength team again. You're talking about a team that just worked its backside off against Arsenal. Players are on the line of potentially getting injured. They would have assessed everything to a fine tooth comb. You can't just keep playing the same players week in, week out when you've got such a tight schedule. It doesn't work. No team can cope with that. No 11 players can cope with it. I think Joshua is back. Timeout is coming, methinks. Baz, I blocked that clown. I've already done it. It takes a while to get down to stuff, unfortunately. Another thing about Wood, he was 1-1 against Leeds and made a terrible decision. His chance today was another chance at a striker, at least to hit the target. His form is simply poor. Got into the position. We wouldn't have scored without his header, but that effort was terrible. 2-2 in the Liverpool game. Get in. Wednesday, a clear championship level team, and of course, give 100. No problem. Well done to them. Well said, Sean. Finally. Are some of the comments for real or a wind-up? How? Yeah, it's just a wind-up. Nunez, Wolves just scored 2-2, 2-2. BB, you're a tune or a wind-up. Don't entertain them. Just don't listen to them. 6 changes would have been better, I say. I could have handled 6. Depends on the back line. I wouldn't have changed much of the back line. Wilson doing a podcast and not even playing. What's with that? He's rested for Tuesday, guys.
Because the minute he plays, gets injured, now we're down another. I mean,
if you played today and got injured, you will say, well, why didn't we rest him for Tuesday night? It's more important.
Then we have Wood up top and then half.
There we go. Wilson is a constant. No, they rested him. He could have played, but he was told he wasn't needed, just like Pope was as well. Pope wasn't on the coach either. He was told to rest. The pitch looked terrible. Wasn't too bad. I've seen worse. Ibaz, yes, we did have a chance in the first half, but we also played the ball back a lot. Lewis, Lascelles, Murphy and Wood. I hope they never play again. They will, but we did play the ball back a lot though, didn't we, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably who we had on the pitch at the time, though. I mean, we started going forward a lot more. We were really taking it to them in the second half. It's just one of those days. I mean, what are you going to say?
Yeah. FFP will happen to Newcastle. Sadly, they will be watched like a hawk, whilst Chelsea and City will continue to do whatever they like. I'd like to say Chelsea are an anomaly this season. Did Leeds really have a loan bid for Wood turned down? Oh dear. We're not going to get rid of Wood unless we get another striker in. We've got 3 strikers at the moment. One of them's in, out, in, out, in, out. The other one's just coming back from injury. I'd rather have Wood up front than a midfielder up front. Unless it's Willock. I wouldn't mind trying Willock once to see what he's like up front. Don't worry. I'd give it a shot. But other than that, you want a striker to lead the line because that's what strikers do. That's what you pay them for. Pay them to put the ball in the back of the net as well, which he doesn't do very well. But I still would rather have him there. He isn't a team player. He does affect the team ethic. A loose cannon. Potentially. It's what we've been told. Thinking about selling ASM is ridiculous. People who want Eddie out, no, they're just Mackham's mate, or just people who just want to try and interrupt the show. That's all they're doing. Chris Wood should be investigated for impersonating a professional footballer. Poor Botman won't sleep tonight, forced to play with Lascelles, Lewis and Mancua. How wasted Botman's record. Yeah, but he's undefeated in the Premier League. We'll just keep going with that one. Anderson isn't at the same level that warrants a place in the matchday squad as of yet. There's plenty of players across Europe that's way ahead of him in terms of development. So there's another player people don't want to see in the first team 11. That's 6 or 7 now. Then there's nothing else behind them at all. I still think we should loan Anderson out. You agree with that as well, don't you?
Oh, totally. I think his development is, he'll develop faster playing. He's got to get the right loan. Let's put it. I don't trust Shola to do loans, but if he gets the right loan, plays every guaranteed starting time, I'd loan him out.
Yeah. So you're asking to spend 100 million on one player, but you want 5 players out, which remember we need 5 players in, and you want one of them to be a £100 million player. How are we going to sign another 4 players if you spend 100 million on one? Just think about it. Wilson has just one big sick note now. No, he's not a sick note. He was told to be rested. He was not injured, ill, or anything. He was told to rest. He's playing on Tuesday. So I tweeted Maxi took a selfie with a Tottenham fan at the game today. Must be very ill. No, he wasn't there. Anyhow, Maxi, that was a wind-up, Andy. Maxi felt under the weather after training today. So he's missing after training today. After yesterday, you mean training yesterday? But I suppose Howe and Maxi are both liars. It could be, for all I know, Steve. Do you know 100% for sure? Just because it came out of their mouth, do you believe it? You'd be terrible at Cluedo, wouldn't he? Mudryk, 100 million, 13 career goals, no thanks. Or you'd be terrible at that TV show, Would I Lie to You? Rusty, but shots on target and now in row Z. Yeah, should have scored from 6 yards with his head, though. I'm sorry. I'm not letting people get away with this just because it's Isak. He should have buried that header. It's as simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
It's for Senenda and Mendy, double swoop Monday. That would be nice. We have a quarter-final in 3 days, remember? Exactly 3 days. Matthew Fidders would love to see it. And bearing in mind, Saturday, 6 o'clock kickoff gives you not much recovery time till Sunday. Then you got Monday, then you got the game. People need to remember these things. It's not as easy just saying, there's our best 11, go and play week in, week out. It doesn't work like that. Yes, potentially. Sad that Lascelles is more effective when he's off the pitch. He loves the yellow card, doesn't he? Bars, it looks like the deal will be done on Monday. Not sure if it's a double deal as first 4, but very interesting. Just any deal on Monday will do. It'll be nice just to get a bit of positivity going before the cup game. Some of the comments were a bit extreme, but Woods and Murphy couldn't hit the elephant's house with a banjo. Sadly, mate, Everton have not abused FFP half as much as at least 5 other Premier League clubs yet allowed to abuse it. Newcastle will also be halted because the FA don't want to weaken the elite. I kind of agree with that, Stephen. But you have abused it. What's with all the cap shouting, man? Who shouted? I missed all that, Jules. I'm letting everyone shout tonight, Jules, because it's just one of those nights. Eddie House took a Premier League side out. Dubravka, Lascelles, Richie and Wood, etc. All Premier League experience, so should be more than capable of knocking Sheffield Wednesday out. So Howe isn't to blame for me. He's not. And don't forget, Wood was on the bench. He actually brought Wood on. Stephen would say no one is so-called top 6 have a good God-given. I see, Kevin, what you've got to realise is, though, the Premier League, when they signed the contract with Sky said, these are the 6 teams that we want to show more of, which means they get more cut. So technically there is a big 6 because Sky have dubbed them as the big 6 because they want them on Sky more than any other team. And that's your so-called big 6. So that's why everyone talks about the big 6.
But I think they're also the biggest 6 commercially at the moment.
Yeah.
Now, who knows when the next contract comes up? If we do what we hope we're going to do, we could jump up in there.
Yeah, exactly. Eddie had the intention of being a shop window for players, but didn't realise that the fire brigade would be called too quickly. Bring back Derek Lambis. Oh, my God. I'm never getting through all these comments, to be fair. Chris Wood didn't try to hit the target. I don't know what he was doing. I looked at the replay. I said, did the ball bobble? It didn't. There's just no excuse in it. Today was disappointing for sure, but it's gone. Prepare for Tuesday. At the end of the day, we are higher than we thought we would be. However, lads, well said, Casey. A bit of a, calming down. Eddie had every right to play squad players and to believe they could do a job. I'm still confident top 4. Well said, John. Finally, a bit of positivity coming back in. Sheffields were good, fair bloody play. Most fans knew anyway before the game that our squad isn't good enough, but it will take time, so move on to Tuesday and our future. Wow. Exactly, Jules. Well said. Oh, Wolves are winning 3-2 against Liverpool. See, it's not just us. Oh, my God, there's some idiots in the chat tonight. Eddie out. Oh, my God.
Was that really in the chat?
Yeah, it's just people who have never been in before, probably fake accounts, all this sort of stuff. Yeah, I think it'll make us more hungry to put everything right on Tuesday. 3-2. got to try and look at some of the positives. Disappointing loss, but it's a long-term project. Yeah, exactly, Lee. Exactly. I like it when I get my regulars back in who talk sense. Oh, no, it's offside. Damn it. I don't know what that is. Wenger out. Yay. Couple of the mods would stop the trolls. I don't know if there's any mods in tonight, to be honest with you, Ian. Super Joshy Windass. Obviously, Tom's a Sheffield Wednesday fan or another fan of another club, just trying to take the mick. But Windass was fantastic. I mean, he nearly scored a hat-trick hitting the ball from that free kick. He had a hat-trick last week. One of those things, isn't it? Let these take one alone. You two. Hello, you two. He's an owl, apparently. Long live Eddie. Exactly. Forger Linton shouldn't have played the whole game. Could have come back to bite us on Tuesday night. But you see, this is the kind of comment that frustrates me. And not because it's John saying the comment, but you've got all those other comments above about saying, we should have played our best 11, And then there's the comment. That's the comment we would have got had someone had got injured and we played our full 11. This is what I'm trying to get middle ground on. What's this one? OAV. So, guys, while we're near the end of the show, please hit that thumbs up button if you don't mind. It really helps the YouTube algorithm. If you are new to the channel and you've enjoyed having a rant tonight and you want to see more of this, please hit the subscribe button, the bell button, so you know when we're live. And become a member if you want. 99p, we give away free stuff, give away 2 tickets to the match on Tuesday. And if you'd like to donate, $ in the bottom right hand corner, anything from 50p upwards, it's absolutely amazing. It really does help us out. All I can say is the lad from Mosan had a canny game. His family grew up with mine. There we go. Hey Jules, could we not do what Chelsea did? No, because the only way you can do what Chelsea did is if we start a war with someone, with our owners, and then the EU decides to cut them off. The club gets sold quickly to somebody, then they wipe all the debt off, and then we can do what Chelsea did. So yeah, it's not going to happen. It is a massive, massive rarity what's happened to them. Sheffield Wednesday played excellent. Newcastle were awful. I hope Eddie Howe does not try these players again. I don't think he will now, to be fair. There's no other cup competitions that we're in the first round of. So, come on, Wolves. Make it a better day.
Except Richie. I think.
Yeah, Richie played well, I thought.
Yeah.
Apart from his finishing.
He had some really good crosses that we could have used a few weeks ago. So, when Trippier wasn't on his game.
Yeah, I've actually got to get to the comments though, mate. That's the problem. Who's back again? Who have I missed? I don't know. I don't know what I'm missing. There's a few people in block mode at the moment. How many V-Bucks does the bloke on the right cost? I don't know. You tell me. Andrew, how much do you cost?
Well, you got to get to America first.
Yeah, exactly. So, bye-bye. Kais would have done better. Potentially, I mean, it's looking like he's. We honestly thought he was going to stay, but we'll just swap Kalu for Wood in the summer. Different players. Ivan Toney would be perfect. No, John.
We don't even know if he's going to be playing.
Exactly, John. He's got allegations of 262 betting accounts against his name. He's got a massive injury at the moment. There's a very good chance you're never going to see him play football again because if Trippier got a ban for 2 years, was it? When he had 3 accounts of betting against his name?
No, wasn't it 12 games or something?
Oh, 12 games. So 12 games for 3 bets, right? He's got 262. So he's going to be banned for what? If you go off what Trippier did and you just treble that, you're looking at 900 games he's going to be banned for. It could be his career finished. So no. But I agree, he's a good player. And him and Mitrovic are firing at the moment. If you're going to buy players in form, they're the two you would look at who aren't in the big 6. But no, not with the situation. Definitely not. Oh, my God, they're just bringing in so many accounts. I don't understand why they're bothering. Talking to each other. Baz needs mods. Nah. Just let them rant away. It's funny. Well done, Sheffield Wednesday. Well said. Remember Henry. All right, I'm going to have to skip to the bottom, I think. Mr. Kind. Trying to remember, it's early days, exactly. Oh, he's back again. Might as well just block him now. I'll give him a
Agree
chance.
with that, Andy.
Yeah, exactly. It will be Super 7 next. It has to be something like that, because this is what's going to happen. We're going to be commercially a big club again very, very soon. It's still 2-2. Apparently the goal was offside. I've been told that again. And where the heck is VAR when you need it? I know. But this is what I don't like about the competition. They allowed VAR to be used at Old Trafford, but then these lower league clubs don't have it. So if not everyone can use it, why?
All or none.
Why should it be used?
Yeah. And our line judges we had today were not great.
Yeah, exactly. I thought Steve was in the house anyway, but he's not. Are there any admins on tonight to kick out BB? No, but he's gone anyway, I think. On our block G. But we're right at the bottom now, even though you're right at the end of the night. Of course, BB's been blocked, don't worry. Amazing to be. I have blocked him, but if you can still see him, that's a bit weird. We play to come between Liverpool and Wolves, but Klopp will be angry with that. Tough luck. My uncle is an African general. Even though, just forget about BB. All you've got to do is just ignore that he's made a comment, and then just move on from it. He's obviously a Mackham, just saying Eddie out, Eddie out, Eddie out. He's not doing any harm, really. He's just spamming the chat with a bit of crap. It will be the big one soon. Just give it time. Klopp wasn't lying when he said we can't compete. 750 billion is a shit ton of money. It will take time, though. Exactly. Once we get our commercials in, it'll all be okay. I promise you. BB&G, obviously, space, shutter door. Goodness. I love it. Right, I've gone a lot longer than I was going to. I was only going to do 45 minutes, to be honest with you. Let you all have a rant, but it's... I have blocked them, Kevin, man. Listen to what I'm saying. Thank you for coming on, Andrew, and putting in your information when you got the chance to. It was all about letting the guys have a rant tonight, to be fair, because I knew it was going to happen. But guys, Tuesday is massive for us. Will you eat your words when St. Max goes against Leicester? It's a big if, Steve. Massive if. But I've always said this.
Scores.
As a fan, I want to see the best Maxi. I've always said this. As a football fan, I want to see the best Maxi. As a Newcastle fan, I want to see the best Maxi. I will give them to the summer. But if what has been said is correct, it's time to sell. But Steve, if he plays on Tuesday night, I'm going to be there and I will be jumping up and down, taking my shirt off, flinging my scarf around. I will be happy as anything. I'll eat those words. But I still think there's something going on in the background. Anyhow, one went with kids. No, he was never going to go with kids. We don't really have them. Good night, everyone. Cheers, Baz. Thanks, everyone. Always a great show. Love this channel. Thanks, Andrew. Maxi won't play against Leicester. Exactly. There's another one back. Right. Didn't realise my name shows up. It does now. Mr. Scouts About. You must have. Oh, yeah. If that's what your YouTube name is, that's what it comes up as, Mr. Scouts About. So thanks, Basil. Top job again, guys. And Baz, if I'm sitting with you, please keep the shirt on. You're not sitting with me, mate. You're on your own. Just to ruin it for you. But tune in. Tomorrow, we're going to do the transfer banter show, and we're going to have more screenshots of the Maxi stuff so you can see what's going on. We're going to talk about all the potential transfers we're looking at. And then Monday night, we're going to do the look ahead to Tuesday to the quarterfinal of the Cup. There might be a watch along if Liam's not going to it. If he is going to it, there's no watch along. But we've also got the exciting show on Wednesday night. Gallagher Girls is back. Really looking forward to doing that as well. Andrew, thank you so much for coming on. I always love having you on when you get the chance. Please hit the thumbs up, the sub button if you've enjoyed tonight. It's been fun. I've loved these ranting, but it's now time to go to sleep, reflect, and go again on Tuesday. So take care till then, guys. Exactly. Over and out.